Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into a really interesting program, the 4-week Word Builders from the Ground Up course. It's developed by RuiEnglish, who are experienced applied linguistics tutors.
Exactly. And our mission today is really to break down how this course helps learners. We're talking about those at beginner to intermediate levels, A1 up to B1.
So people moving past the basics.
Yeah, moving from just recognizing words to actually using them confidently in the real world. That's the transformation we want to understand. How do they make that happen?
And the materials we looked at really stress this isn't your typical vocabulary grind. No endless memorization lists.
No, not at all. It presented as very practical, systematic techniques designed to kind of build your English from the inside out.
Okay, so what does the structure look like, logistics-wise?
Well, they call it a vocabulary bootcamp. It's 4 weeks long with 10 interactive lessons, and they emphasize it's like 100% practical.
And who's it for? Any prerequisites?
Apparently just curiosity and motivation. That's it. So pretty accessible, even if, grammar study feels like a long time ago for someone.
I think the interesting angle here is how it works. The sources say it helps you think in English. What does that actually mean in this context?
It seems to be about understanding the architecture of words, how they fit together, how they change, how prefixes and suffixes work. It's less about individual words and more about the system.
So understanding the building blocks. That sounds like it could be really empowering, much more than just learning words in isolation.
Definitely. And that systemic approach seems to feed directly into what they call the RuiEnglish core competencies, things learners gain.
Which are?
3 main ones. Clarity, so using words precisely. Confidence, being able to express your ideas more easily with more power. And connection, communicating effectively with others.
Clarity, confidence, connection. Those sound like pretty solid outcomes, but how do they get learners there? Let's unpack the actual strategies. What's in the toolkit?
Okay, so over the 4 weeks, they cover 4 main areas. First is strategic vocabulary growth, basically. Setting goals, using smart techniques.
Standard enough, but important.
Right. But the second one, word structure mastery, seems to be a real cornerstone. Decoding words using prefixes, roots, suffixes.
Word structure mastery. Okay, that sounds key. Does digging into roots, maybe Latin roots, ever feel a bit academic for learners at A1 or B2 level? Is it practical enough?
That's a fair point. But the course seems to frame it as a shortcut almost. A really powerful one. It gives you this exponential return.
How so?
Well, if you learn one root, like struct, meaning to build, you don't just get the word structure, you suddenly see the connections in instruction, construction, destructive.
Oh, I see. So you unlock whole families of words, not just single items. It moves you beyond that word-by-word struggle.
Exactly. Instead of learning, say, 10 separate words, learning one root might give you the key to understanding 50. Much more efficient.
Okay, that makes sense. Unlock the system. But knowing the system is one thing, using the words is another. How do they make sure the words actually stick and get used?
That brings us to the third and fourth areas. Third is meaning in context. So understanding words through real examples, seeing how meaning can shift depending on how it's used.
Nuance.
Yes, nuance is huge. And that ties into the fourth area, word relationships. Looking at synonyms, antonyms, and those subtle differences in meaning that really sharpen your communication.
And all this leads towards active use.
Precisely. Active application is the end goal. Taking those words you've decoded and understood and actually using them, in speech, in writing. Moving them from passive recognition to active vocabulary.
Right. Like you might passively recognize a word like ubiquitous when reading, but active application means you can actually use it correctly in a conversation or an email when you need it.
That's the jump they're aiming for. And what's interesting is how they apparently tie everything back to daily life.
How do they do that?
Every activity, every example seems linked to real situations. Conversations, songs, things you read online, school, work. It's all grounded in practicality.
So you can see the immediate relevance. Like a student might write better essays with more precise words.
Yeah, or a professional crafts clearer emails. Or someone traveling feels more confident chatting with people. The aim seems to be captured in their phrase, build your vocabulary, build your voice.
Build your voice. I like that. It implies more than just knowing words. It's about expression.
Absolutely. The takeaway seems to be that learners don't just finish with a list of new words. They leave with a system, a method for continuing to learn, and importantly, the confidence to actually use the English they know.
So it's a lasting skill set, not just a 4-week fix.
That appears to be the goal. A personalized system to keep growing long after the course ends.
Okay, so here's a final thought to leave our listeners with. If this course puts so much emphasis on understanding word structure, those roots and prefixes, what kind of impact could mastering just a handful of core English word roots have on your ability to understand new words you come across literally every single day? Something to consider. Learn smarter, speak stronger, connect better. That's our deep dive for today.